Have you ever opened your eyes the next morning and you feel that quiet, sickening disappointment? Not because you blacked out, not because something dramatic happened, but because you did it again after promising yourself you wouldn't. You said you'd take a break, but something pulls you back in, like you weren't even there when it happened. And you start to wonder, why do I keep doing this? Why can't I stop when I want to? And that's what I want to talk about today, because what's happening to you isn't about willpower, it's about autopilot. Let's be honest for a second, this isn't about how much you drink, it's about how little control you feel when you do. You tell yourself you're done, and you make that decision sober, clear and committed, but then something shifts. Might be a stressful day, an argument, a quiet weekend, or even just being alone. But your chest tightens, your mind speeds up, and suddenly the craving takes over. And I don't just mean that I want to drink, it's that full body urge and brain and mind telling you you need a drink, you need that relief now. And that's when the thoughts start. I've been good this week, I can just have one to take the edge off, no one will know, I'll stop after this time. But you already know how it ends. You drink and then you feel it. That sinking mix of emotions sinking in. The embarrassment because you really meant it this time. The frustration because it's the same pattern again. And the shame, not just because you drank, but because you couldn't stop yourself. And underneath all of that, there's something even heavier. The helplessness. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. There's a sequence your brain is running. The same one is rehearsed dozens of times. The trigger, the craving, the justification, the drinking, and then the regret. Each part flows into the next without your permission. The trigger might be subtle. It might be like feeling left out at a work event, or that Friday afternoon tension, a wave of loneliness you can't quite explain. But then the craving comes. That could be physical, mental, emotional. You can't think about anything else, just getting through this moment. And then the justifications. It's been a long week, I've earned it, I'll do better tomorrow. And then you give in. Not because you're weak, but because your brain has practiced this loop over and over and over again, just going round and round. Look, most of the clients I work with don't realise they're stuck in that loop and in that system. They just think they're failing, but it's not failure, it's automation. And you're not choosing it, you're reacting to it and getting sucked in to that loop. Let's talk about the part no one wants to say out loud. You're trying to moderate, to control it, to keep it in check. You don't drink every day, you're still functioning, you're still managing it. But here's the real problem that's going on. If you're constantly managing it, and if it's taking this much effort just to not to fall in, is that really control? Or is it just survival? Because moderation often becomes a full-time job. The planning, the avoiding, the worrying, that's not peace. That's not a healthy relationship to drinking. That's not containment. And most of the people I work with, they're exhausted by it, by trying to moderate. Which brings me to a metaphor that really helps people finally make sense of it. Now imagine this. You walk the same street every day. One day there's a hole in the pavement. No sign, no warning, so you fall in. The next day, the same route, you see the hole, you still fall in. The third day, you edge around it, carefully tense, watching every step. That's what moderation feels like. Same street, same risk, same mental exhaustion, just not to fall in. Now imagine walking a different street with no hole, no calculations, just space to breathe. That's what stopping can feel like. Once you understand what's happening, it's not punishment, it's actually relief. The first real shift happens when you stop trying to be better and start trying to see clearly. That's what we help clients do. We build out their mental map of their own addiction cycle so they can see it, so that you're no longer blind to it. And you can see the exact moments when the loop begins and interrupt it before it pulls you under. It's not a miracle, it's not magic, it's a process. And it works. Because the loop becomes visible and it stops being inevitable, and you start to be able to see the pattern, map it out and start to change it. If this is familiar, if this is the loop, your hole, your autopilot that you're stuck in, then book a call and I'll personally assess where you're at, tell you which kind of help would actually work for you, whether that's us or something else. There's no pressure, just clarity. So take the next step and click the link below in the description to check my calendar and book a call directly with me. and I'll see you there, and I look forward to talking to you soon.